evening. Welcome to Let's Talk. And tonight we have a very special show from a very special person. Tonight we will discuss what are you thankful for? And this discussion is between myself and Egyptian Princess 8. And she will give us a brief background about who she is, where she's from, what she does, her life's journey, and so forth and so on. As well as she's going to bring two of her friends, guests, to come on and just have a conversation about this time of the year for those that do not or don't or do celebrate Thanksgiving. But this time of the year, holiday time of the year, even if you don't celebrate the holidays, it always is a very time for family. A lot of people go through depression because a lot of their families and loved ones are no longer here. So it's always important to, just, as they say, you should always check on people, but you should particularly check on people around this time of the year because some people may not have, if they do celebrate Thanksgiving, they may not even have family to go over and forget eat, just chill, pick up the phone, the camaraderie of being together. Um, as they say, drinking eggnog and stuff like that, stuff that they used to do as kids. And this even goes on further to Christmas and New Year's. So this time of the year is really tough and hard for people. So, Egyptian Princess 8, what's going on?
Hi, I'm so just excited to be here with you. Thank you so much for this opportunity and just to be able to share with people about life and thankfulness is really important. Um, and I'm excited to get into that topic. But before we do, yes, my name is Mary Tawadros, aka Egyptian Princess 8. And people sometimes ask why the 8. It's because I was born on October 8th, and it's also the sign of infinity. And I believe I'm infinite, as we all are infinite people, with leaving our mark and stamps on the earth with various gifts and talents. So I'm also a life coach, author of 3 poetry books, and I believe in empowering people as a life coach, and that's very important to me, to be someone's cheerleader, to be someone's motivator, and let them know that they're not alone in this world. And also, I enjoy being a visual artist, which I decided to put a piece of mine behind me. God's given me many gifts and talents, and it's exciting to be able to draw and create journals. And I paint seashells with positive affirmations, and so I do various types of artistic things, and do write my poems and stories as well. So it just depends on which day you catch me. And I definitely love people, and just I feel like we're here for such a limited time, and it's important to connect with as many people as you can.
What made you decide to say, I really want to be a life coach? I think I could really direct somebody. Not, it's always interesting because your feet are facing forward for a reason, as I like to say. So
Right.
you're not really redirected. Explain in layman's terms what a life coach really is and what they do.
So for me, being a life coach is having that one-on-one relationship with someone where they can let their guard down. They can reveal their most intimate, vulnerable, painful things and not be judged. And in this type of arena with a life coach, I mean, I can be someone's counselor, I can be someone's just motivator. I allow them to choose what they really want in their relationship with me because it's up to them to put in the work. I will put you to work. I will give you either writing prompts that I feel that you need to work on yourself to just express yourself one on one. I will give you positive affirmations to focus on. I'll send you things that I think that are related to you via topics or articles or what have you to help you get on your journey to the goals that you're trying to achieve. Because that's the problem. We get this like hiccup in our path where sometimes our naysayers are family members. They're not just like friends or something, because you have friends that are naysayers too, but it's sometimes a family member that could just hurt you so bad that you have a hard time trusting and telling other people your dreams. And if you talk to a life coach or a counselor or a therapist or psychologist, you will get finally that extra treatment that you need. But with me too, especially, I'm very personal and I share my own personal experiences of life that I've gone through. I've gone through losing my parents, I've gone through losing them to illnesses. So I have been to the hospital a million times. I know a lot about different, heart disease, cancer, diabetes, you name it. Like I've seen what illness can do in people, and I know what that's like to take care of someone that's sick. And also, why I take this so passionately about being a life coach. My own experience in life is that I was hit by a car when I was 7, and I broke both my legs, my right collarbone. I had fraction in my head. I had double vision, and I stayed a month in 3 day hospital. And I had to learn to walk all over again and learn to just start life as if I was a little girl, a little baby walking again. So just to go through that experience and still be here and still walk, still be able to dance. Like I have this zest for life, and I physically go through the seasons of pain, of course, with the cold weather. I experience a lot of different things physically, so I understand physical pain, not just emotional pain. So that's why I take it so passionately to be someone's life coach, because of all the different things I've experienced.
How was I would say I won't say business because it is a more personal thing that you're doing,
Right.
but it is something that you do for a living. How
Yeah.
was it during the pandemic?
Surprisingly, I had a few extra people come through in that period of time that were in need of support in a way that was different, of course, than the other years that I've worked. And it is amazing to have seen the growth and transformation over the course of a year, over the course of that year and a half, with different individuals. I mean, it's amazing where they're at in life now. And that just makes my heart just so happy to know that you get to witness it and see someone transform before your eyes. So yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
because I know that a lot of people in your field and therapists said that, as they say, business was booming because a lot of us
Mm,
were having issues with just dealing with, as they say, the new norm,
yeah.
and a lot of loss happened, a lot of tragedy. I know a lot of people who passed
Hmm.
away myself, and
Hmm.
I always try to say, definitely when it comes to that, it was like a reset of priorities for all of us to realize what's important and what's not important. Definitely when you work for someone, you'd be
Hmm.
like, man, they'll replace me tomorrow. Like at the end of the day, if I don't go in tomorrow, they'll replace me. They might give my workload to someone else or
Yep.
two, three people, but that seat ain't gonna stay cold at all. So I know that's always a thing with that. So what made? Let's talk about your poetry. How'd you get into the poetry?
Well, when I was 12, I started writing poetry. Poetry was my outlet to release all my dreams, desires. In my household, I wasn't really able to speak because I was young, and my parents had me at a late age where I was not meant to be. I was almost aborted. So I came in the picture. They really didn't know what to do with me. Like, I'd be in my room doing my work or watching TV. And as long as I was away, except for eating dinner, except for whatever, other than that, they were in their own, they had illnesses they were dealing with illnesses. They were dealing with their frustrations because my parents didn't have a good relationship, and they had their own arguments and own things that they were going through. And I am Egyptian, and my parents culturally as well, there's a whole other facet to being Egyptian, and the strictness and uh, the way I grew up was, there was a lot going on in that, the dynamics of that household. So, and then my brother, who's 12 years older, was out living his life and doing his thing. And so he would come and pop in when he could and went on with his life. So for me, I always felt like I was left with my parents and I had to deal with all that. Like, oh my God, they were just constantly, you know, on me, but or ignored me for that matter, either on me in one way or completely ignored me in another. So poetry was my outlet to write about love, to write about nature, to write about God, and let myself escape in my words. So I really enjoyed writing because that was my outlet.
So the poetry was a effective way of communication. Yeah.
Correct. It was my voice.
So so your journey with poetry, your love of it as a young child, and then what? Tell us about your journey with your first authorship, your first book.
My first book was a collective from some of the poems I wrote in high school. And I ended up, it's called a Burgundy Rose. And I did the stencil on the outside and I painted it burgundy. And I took it to a teacher at this Diamond Bar High School at the time who was doing an editing class with the students. And they printed 112 copies for me. And it was just this, it was bound. It was still like a hard, still paperback, but still like pretty good shape in far as nice and solid. But it was humble beginnings, and it made my heart happy because I had told myself after high school that's one of my like dreams, that I'm going to self-publish my own poetry book, and I did it. So it's 2003, and that book is no longer in print. Some people say, "Oh, you need to, just retype it, and you should put it back together out there, put it out," and it's like, it's humble beginnings, and I kind of want to leave it there, yeah.
So when you talk about that journey of being a published author, did you feel like that was the beginning of something or the end accumulation of like here's my like humble beginnings, intimate secrets, because this is all a collection of some early stuff,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna just put it out there. Do you feel like it was an end or the beginning of like, okay, I'm gonna really start getting into this poetry thing and start writing more?
Well, I would say that it was the compilation of something I really wanted to put together, and it was basically 84 poems, and it was all the way tracing back to high school work. Yes, but like 2003. So I'd say the last poem in there was a poem I wrote in 2002, and so it goes back. So it goes back, and I put it instead of from present to past, I did past to present. Like I reversed it so that it would be a little more like, oh my gosh, you're looking at the very early beginning at the end, and that was kind of fun to do it that way. And I put 84 poems in particular because 1984 is the year I was hit by a car. So that significance of I'm accomplishing this book when I could have way off the earth in 1984. So yeah, but this I kept writing, and I just thought, okay, down the line, I'll probably put another book together, and we'll see when that happens. But it wouldn't be until 2017. And it's interesting, the last five poems that were really critical to go in there were written right at the end of 2017. And I was awakened by someone else they had a going away party. He was a poet, and this gentleman shared his story about his family growing up. He was born in prison, actually. His mom was a drug addict. And he explained growing up, there was things that he went through with his family that were like major. And I'm listening to him, and just, I saw his mom in the audience. I saw his sister, and they were all crying. And there must have been like 100 people in the room. And I'm like, wow, look at the vulnerability of this person telling you all the dirt, like all the grime and all the like, wow, and I felt like, wow, I think I've just been too flowery here and too love poetry here and too, I think there's a few missing pieces that I have not really written about my life, and I need to expose them because my life has not been roses and daisies. There's been some real rough patches in my life. So I wrote some things about my family, and I needed to express that and put that in the book. And those five poems are like, when people read them, they're like, wow, I would never think that happened to you. And I'm like, well, it's happened.
So when it's okay, so you chose that how that where has poetry taken you? Were you surprised at how big the poetry community is, or do you
Yeah,
think it do you think it's big?
I do. Yes. And it's big if you choose to navigate through different cities. because in one city in one arena is completely different than the other city in that arena. The spirit is different, the motive is different, the work is different. In every poet I've met, and I hosted open mics for 4 years. I got to see the seasoned come in and kill it and just like, oh my God, and you're blown away because this, powerful seasoned poet. But then I also saw the humble beginnings because I gave features to people who were just starting out too. It's not all about seasoned that's going to wow you. You got to give someone, the underdog, an opportunity to start somewhere. So I believed in that. And in hosting, I got to see the attitude. I got to see, and when I say attitude, I'm saying that very nicely, but the
Or the
arrogance. I'm gonna
cockiness.
say
Let's
it.
just say the cockiness.
Yes, the arrogance. Yes, the arrogance, the cockiness. And I'm like, okay, so that's what you're about with your work. So sad to say, that's natural and in human nature. A lot of people, we all go through our things. But when you see that in someone, then you know who you're going to call upon for certain things and who you're not going to call upon for certain things.
I
Because
always I
I'm,
always say with
yeah,
poetry, it's very regional.
yes, yes, I would agree with that.
It's
I would
very
agree with that.
regional, and you'll get a vibe from a particular area and be like, you know what, and it's not to shame anybody because poets, in my opinion, they have a very very distinctive art and they have a very distinctive place in humanity.
Hmm.
And I always think that with the regional stuff, you may meet poets from a certain area and be like, they come off a little harsh because of the region that they, your experience is your experience.
Right.
Egyptian princess, like,
Hmm.
and I can't take away your
Hmm.
experience. I can't tell you what you've experienced, and a lot of times when we intermingle with each other and have social interengagement, we always try to take somebody from away from their experience,
Hmm.
and instead of just accepting, okay, this is how they experience things and this is their viewpoint.
Hmm.
So I always say that poetry with the regional, you'll be like, okay, I'm getting a lot of love from this particular area of poets, like,
Hmm.
it's all this, and then you'll be like, oh, they seem a little harsher, they come off a little rougher. um, they call some of them a little guarded towards their art. You might have. I'm quite sure with you, you probably do writing lessons with poets. As we would say in the New York tri-state area, it's like building, like iron sharpens iron type of thing.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm quite sure that you've seen it, and it's like even with you, like you have a cultural difference as well, because I know your parents, regardless of how long or how much you've been as we say Americanized, they
Hmm.
still gave you that cultural of you're Egyptian, knowing who you are, knowing where you're from, and then
Hmm.
you're seeing like cultural differences with approaches, passive aggressive,
Hmm.
assertive.
Yes.
So I'm quite sure it has been a very interesting journey for you so far.
Yes. Indeed. Indeed. Yes. Yes. It's
Yeah,
still so much to learn. Still so much to learn. That's the thing. You, as a poet, are never done learning. And the minute you think you've mastered everything, then it's so sad that you feel that way because there's still more to learn. There's still more to engage with other people that you can learn something from them, no matter how far you've mastered it, no matter if you're the seasoned pro, what have you. There's still someone else that can there's still someone else that can be not greater. I'm not looking for that. We're not here to compare ourselves. That's really not how I feel about it. um, I think we all have our own unique richness that we offer as poets. We're just all in different levels of things, but I don't feel one is better than the other per se. Excuse me.
yeah, definitely, definitely. So, what are you thankful for?
Yes. What am I thankful for? I'm very thankful for the community of artists that I know. Um, I've always felt that like God built these relationships with fellow artists and brought them and they've become my family. Like it's not like we're just friends, but these are people that have become so close to me that I feel like we're brothers and sisters. Like we can be there for each other for through the thick and thin. And he's given me quite a few people that I can trust and share life with. And we're friends besides of being on the microphone for 5 minutes. Like we hang out. We've come to each other's homes. We've celebrated all types of things, weddings, funerals, we're that close in that richness of our friendship. So that is something that I'm very thankful for. When you don't have your parents anymore, my brother's, he lives 400 miles away. He's far from me. So we do talk and we're close, but at the same time, we're not close in distance. So it's amazing that my artist community, how they show up for me. So I'm very blessed.
Yeah. See, do you think that you lived a life that you created for yourself?
Mm, yes. More so, I have to say, after my mom and dad passed away. My dad passed away 23 years ago, 24 years, I think it is now. 24 years. My mom's been 12 years gone. After my mom, um, is when my life really took off because my mother was very dependent on me. She did not drive. And I took her to her doctor's appointments, pharmacy, you name it. I was the one that was there for her. So having a life of my own, going out with friends, it wasn't as frequent. I had to be careful because she wanted my time. She wanted my undivided attention. And yeah, that was sometimes I had to look through and see if is she putting me on? Is she really, really sick? I can't leave the house, or is she putting on an extra performance today? I had to see through that because I knew when she wanted to keep me all to herself. That was something she would tell me blatantly, like, I don't want you going out with your friends. I want you to stay here. Like and I couldn't feel free. So I'm sad that she's not here, despite that she's not suffering anymore, and I'm thankful that she's not suffering anymore. But I wish she could see how my life has transformed as an artist and how much I've been able to accomplish. But if she was here, I wouldn't have the life that I have. So I've been
Mm.
able to cultivate it now and be the artist that I want to be, on so many platforms I never would have imagined. Um, so yeah, I believe that years.
Yeah, it's amazing. When you were sharing that, how many of us, when you're younger, you sign up for, lack of better words, a lot of drama. So you have
Yeah.
a lot of drama going on around you.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's a whole bunch of just extra stuff that makes you stressed and make your days a little longer. And then when you start to mature a little bit and you get rid of all that clutter in your life, you start to say, and then you see other people, you be like, "Oh, you got too much going on." You're not being judgy, but you're being aware of the surroundings. Be like, "Yo, you got too much going on." I was telling somebody today,
Hmm.
they were so consumed with what they couldn't control, and I'm like, "Yo, do you realize that they're taking away?" You're allowing other stuff that you have no control over to take away your focus on your job.
Right.
And at any given moment at your job with what you do, you could lose your life. You have other people's lives in their hands. And in his response, he's a younger guy. His
Right.
response was like, "I got it." I said, "No, you don't got it."
Hmm.
So I went over some stuff with PPE. I said, "Look, you got like 6 or 7 violations that I could pick up on immediately." I said, "And this is what happens when you have all that clutter going on with your life. You have to, as they say, be where you are." Like, it's amazing how many people just are so focused on their past or so focused on their future where they're just not being where they
Yes,
are right now.
yes, yes.
You're right here at this moment doing this for this specific reason.
Hmm.
This is why this is going on. So one of your guests is backstage.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna bring him up, saying it. Saint
Yay.
Eyes the poet.
Yes.
Saint
Hello
Eyes,
there.
what's going on?
Hey, you guys, how you doing? How's everybody doing this evening?
Good.
We're doing great. You know,
Good.
glad you could join Egyptian Princess 8. So her topic of her show that she is doing right now with myself is what are you thankful for? And she can ask you all the questions that she wants. I'm gonna just sit back and just enjoy
Oh,
what's going on. I mean, I don't know if you, Saint Ice. I don't know if you were watching in the beginning, but we were talking about how this time of the year for a lot of people it's a struggle
mhm.
because it's the holiday times. A lot of people's loved ones have moved on,
Yeah.
so a lot of people go through a bunch of emotions during this time of the year,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it's important for people to be there for each other
Hmm.
and understand that everybody is not as open to talk about what's going on, whether they
Sure.
celebrate the holidays or not. This is always
Sure.
a
Sure.
very, very rough time. So
Sure.
I
Sure.
don't know if
Okay.
you had anything to add with that or, you know.
Sure. I love to chime in. When I came in, you guys were talking about, people being present. No pun on the season that we're in, but being present, and the future really hasn't happened yet, and many of us, as myself, I've spent considerable precious moments dwelling in the past, as opposed to dealing with the present moment. So the holidays are tough. Like I mean, from a business side, I say things. Well, people find money to spend now that they don't have any other time of the year. All of a sudden, any business that was in the the red, now they're in the black. So there's this push for connectivity. There's this push to want to give. There's this push to want to be with your loved ones, family, and friends. Whether we're conditioned that way or that's just the way it is. Um, I'm thankful for a lot of things, and as you were saying, Q, about being open. Um, I was talking to a good friend of mine, several good friends of mine, and I'm the type of personality. Unfortunately, when the water gets too high, I just go underwater. What happened to St. Ice? I don't know. I see a trail of bubbles over there. I guess he's swimming. You know, um, some of us have to retreat, then we come back, and then it's like, oh, here's a reason to be thankful. Oh, God bless me in this area, and oh man, like had a conversation with my mom not long ago, being thankful. Um I'm of age. I got the fountain of youth thing, so I don't even talk about it anymore. But I still have my mom, and many of my peers and close friends do not. So it's like, oh man, I'm thankful that my mom is yet here. I'm thankful that my sister, my younger siblings, we literally call each other's best friends, where we have again our peers who are knockdown, drag out fights with their siblings. So
Mm,
something as simple as that. Um, um, Visiting the doctors. I mean, I don't have any major ailments. I don't have anything in my body, praise God, that's gonna kill me. Right? It's like, oh, clench it. No, there's nothing terminal here. Maybe get some more terminal good sense. Maybe that's what I need, right? But but in terms of health, I mean, I'm not the super athletic guy, never have been, but I've managed to maintain a level of health. These are things that we take for granted. You know, we had a cold snap here in California 2 Sundays ago. And I know cold weather sound like California. Y'all don't get it. Like what? It don't get cold in Cali. It don't even rain out there. Don't believe the record. But man, I was crying like a big baby because the lower back hit, and I'm pulling myself out of bed, and I'm driving down to the local emergency because I felt like I was gonna die. They give you some pills. They give you a pep talk. They laugh at you and say, well, we'll contact your provider for the next level. In that, I'm looking at everybody else in the room. Not that I measure my challenge against theirs, but you kind of do. Like, oh man, that guy's in a wheelchair, and ooh wee, they got an IV in their arm. And I walked into the building. So, we start counting the blessings a little bit differently. Even with the current world we live in, it depends on your perspective. California is expensive, and I imagine certain places on the East Coast are as well. And the numbers are ridiculous. We got the weather is so nice here, people can literally live on the streets. That's scary. We got tents, we got cardboard boxes. Everyone's heard of Skid Row. Skid Row on some days it's just a body of living, a river of living bodies. And the blessing becomes, I don't live down there. I might not be in the palace that I imagined as a little boy, but as a grown man, I got 4 walls, shelter, some electricity. Things we take for granted. I have a vehicle. Amen. No car note. Hallelujah. I'm thankful. Been there, done that. Like, whoo, it's too much. Trying to strategize how to buy gasoline and food. So, and the Lord just says, son, I got you, so I believe there's a Bible verse that says in all things give thanks, it's not always easy when you're in the middle of it. Pastor had that thing locked down on Sunday and the motivational speaker got you going. But you got to find that in you to be thankful versus what we used to call murmuring and complaining, because it's the exact opposite. You're going to speak to your negative situation. You're going to, you had a little lizard, now it's Godzilla because you kept talking to it. You know what I mean? So that thankful piece is everything, and it impacts your disposition. The holidays, going back to what you're saying. My family, we're not a large family, but we're close knit. It's kind of spooky because as you said, all of the older relatives have passed on. And thankful for who's left. So it's like my mom's generation is just my mother and her first cousin. When they pass away and pass the baton, then my generation steps up. Now we're that level. So be thankful that you have them while they're here, because again, so many have already seen everybody go home. So those are the things off top, man, that and Egyptian things that off top get me in terms of being thankful. Even now, I can speak to this. All 3 of you are relatively new in my life. I haven't known any of you over a year, right? And Q in your own way, you're on the other coast, but even right now, you're providing something that's like, oh man, brother Q's cool, right? And then Egyptian, and now we have the amazing Miss A. Lee on the line. These creative ladies, I'm actually thankful for them because they become a part of my landscape. So some of us don't even have good friends. We all got that friend like, oh man, I thought that was my boy. We all got at least one of them, right?
Yeah.
So the new folk come in with a new breath, a new energy. I'm funny with that word energy, but y'all know what I mean. And we carry the baton of being thankful for good people in your life, So the simple stuff. It is, but it's so major. And I think I said a lot. Y'all chime in. I done sucked all the oxygen out the air.
It's so good to see you guys. Hey, Q.
I feel neglected, young lady.
My apologies. I know I still got to send you your books. I'm trying to collect them.
We have the incomparable A-Lee. I mean, anybody that knows this young lady, she may be a guest. She may be a guest of Mary tonight. But anybody that knows this young lady is that she is literally a sponge for positive energy, positive vibes, and she loves to be a support of other people and their projects and what they're doing. So much so that she even sacrifices her vacation, because I haven't forgot, where she literally um, will do anything for anybody if it's of being doing something positive. And the topic that Mary decided to come up with, Miss A. Lee, was what are you thankful for? And
I am thankful, of course, for you guys, everybody up here, just making a safe space and building community and sharing our likeness, right? And I think we all vibe well together because we all have that inner person that wants to help, that wants to make a difference, that wants to build community and come together positively. And
my
just
cat's tripping tonight. But anyway,
huh?
excuse me. My cat has been tripping tonight. But anyway,
And just
excuse me.
making our community
He's being
grow.
thankful right now, right? Excuse me,
It's
Andrew.
okay.
Excuse me,
Bridging
Mayor.
the right people together. That's important. Like I was explaining to someone yesterday about my whole life has been of service to people. So everything I do is trying to be of service, trying to be a better me every day and assist people on working on how to be a better them. Not losing focus of who I am, but just growing, every day and having those important conversations. It's hard because sometimes a lot of people are delusional
Yeah.
and you try to get through to people and it's just excuse after excuse after excuse. It's like, when do you take responsibility for yourself? That's important. So, and I respect all of you guys opinions. So if you guys told me something that I needed to work on, I need to better, then I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna change it. I'm not gonna go back and forth and argue with you about change and what needs to be changed. And I think that growing helps you a lot with that. So I just appreciate everyone here and what you're all trying to do, art wise, helping the community. And I just see Q every day with his shows, and he don't mind talking about the real stuff or posting something even if you don't like it. And he always share everything. And I always say, what is social media for if you don't share or uplift other people?
Well, that's what I was saying, Drea, before we started. One of the things that before you guys came on and I shared with Mary was allowing people to be who they are and their experiences are their experiences. I think a lot of times we tend to take people away from their experiences. No, your experiences is your experiences. Your life is your life. How you view your life. I'm not there to judge. I'm actually there to learn, because it's a different experience. It's a different lens to really view of what's going on in your world. And one of the things with being like this time of the year is that a lot of people go through stuff. And I said it a couple of times. I didn't realize a lot of people because I haven't celebrated holidays probably in about 30 years. But I will, occasionally go be with my family during Thanksgiving. And I never realized how many people go through stuff during this time of the year until somebody told me. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I never knew it. But their childhood, because I knew them since I was a kid, then I started thinking, like, oh, their childhood, they had a strong family. They were always around each other, the cousins and everybody, even the ones I grew up with. And then I'm like, oh, they don't have that no more, or their parents moved away. It's just them by themselves. Like my experience and Mary's experience, she's far away, 400 miles away from her brother. I'm only 150 away from my sisters, and it's like, and my brother moved to Virginia. And like you said, sometimes you take it for granted when you have that close proximity of being able to say, "Yo, let's hook up, let's go to the park, let's do this, let's do that," and then you come across those, like Saint Ice said, those don't even get along with their siblings or family, which
Hey guys, I'm here, but I'm also teaching a class, so I'm gonna go back and forth.
which
So
for
if I
me
don't
was
say nothing for a minute, then just
okay. Which for me, when you meet people that don't deal with their siblings, I was taken aback when I met people like that. Like, even I understood and I respect everybody. Like I said, I respect everybody's experience. But I'm like, yo, I don't even argue with. We don't even have. Me and my sisters and brothers don't even have disagreements. We allow each other to be who they are, and we don't judge each other. So when you meet people that be like, I hate my brother, well, I hate
Mm.
my sister, you'd be like, wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that, my brother and I have this perfect relationship. That's not the case. We've gone through some major ups and downs, but I'm thankful for where we are now. We've gotten closer over the years. And I think it has a lot to do with just getting older because, when you have a 12-year gap and, my brother being older, I know he has this perception of me that I'm still this little girl, but I'm not. I mean, I just turned 47. I'm not a little girl anymore. I'm not the 5-year-old that you used to look at. I'm not 12. I'm now, close to you in age range here. I mean, not exactly, but you know what I mean. We're older. We can understand. And I really never was immature. I always actually was mature for my age. And I think I had to grow up a little fast due to the accidents, due to having older parents. Just that was my life. So I can't say the relationship was definitely smooth sailing. No, we have our ups and downs, but we've gotten closer. And I urge people as a life coach as well to try to work on whatever relationships in your life that you need to mend because you want to have peace when it's over with whomever, whether it's family, a friend. If you can make peace with them, I definitely urge people to do that. If it can't be helped, that's different. I mean, there's certain circumstances, of course, but it's for your own sanity, your own growth. That's something that people need to strive to work on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Say nice.
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm thinking I'm gonna tag the last end of what Mary, the Egyptian princess Ada, is talking about, and making peace. Here we go again. I mean, the verse that says that there's peace that surpasses all understanding. What I have found, you know, I like to think I'm a pretty peaceful individual. I mean, I'm the last one to raise hell and the first one to try to be a mediator. That's usually who I've been. Um, and sometimes, if you're not careful, you become indifferent. Like if we cool, we cool. We not, we not. You know, and I'm working on not being that personality type because
Yeah.
sometimes the cares of this world can harden you. If you like, you guys, I walk around telling me, yeah, man, I took the S off my chest and I'm retiring my red cape. I'm not trying to save everybody no more, but I still got this call on my life, and here I am. Well, Clint, the sun is out, and you can still fly. What you gonna do? So, I'm finding peace also requires forgiveness. You know what I mean? I can stay mad at you. Some things that we just won't agree with, and then we get to a place to what's acceptable and what's unacceptable, and that's where a working concept of peace has to really be dissected. I'm not saying peace is impossible. I totally believe that it is, but it's a relationship. It takes two to tango. If I'm trying to dance with you and you continue like you want to step on my feet or you don't hear the beat or you just disrupting the band, there's no harmony there. I think peace in circumstances requires all parties involved desiring a level of peace and a fair peace, not like I got my way so I'm good. That's not peace, or you shut them out. Now they're invisible. That's not peace either. That's easy. Like I ain't dealing with them. They crazy. Click, whip, block. I don't know. That's not really solving it, Mary, like how you're saying, there will come a time we either they go or we go, whoever goes first, we don't know. or can you live with that? You know, is your heart big enough, or have we grown so cold as a
Mhm.
defense mechanism that all of a sudden the only piece that matters is our own piece? And
Mhm.
society talks that way now. You know, we were on this me, I, me thing, and I get it, but if we're not even trying to extend the olive branch, and I might be preaching to myself right now, if we're not even trying to extend the olive branch, there won't be any peace, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like peace is within me. And people say sometimes what I'm living in the like fantasy world, but I mean on some degrees, some I kind of agree, but I think that for me personally, I make my life and my rules for myself. And I'm not gonna let anybody ruin that or get in the way of what I'm trying to do for myself. Right. So when people try to bring something negative to me, I don't want to hear that. In my personal space, I can control what happens with me. Now, if I'm at work or something, there's so many different spirits and different people, and I may not be able to control it, but I can control my demeanor and how I act toward it, and I can walk away because people can push you to that. I'm actually teaching an anger management class right now, but it's just like it's anger is normal, right? It's something a normal reaction, something we all have, but it's the way we deal with it. And so I try to lead with that in every aspect of my life. How am I going to deal with this situation? How can I change it? Right.
Right.
So if I have an issue with money, how am I going to change that? Me sitting around being upset and pouting about it. And I'm thankful for being able to control those different things in my life. And I'm thankful for the people that I have in my life. I'm thankful for the support. Ever since I met Q, Egyptian princess, and Stay Nice, it's always been we show up for each other. We support each other. You know, we see each other, we embrace each other, and it's genuine, right?
Yeah.
We
Absolutely.
always feel good about it. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely. No, I'm in agreement in that for like I said, the artist community, I see them as my family, and that's critical. And from just, yeah, absolutely, few months of meeting Andrea, I feel like we've known each other all our lives, and it's only been a few months. Like, it's amazing how you can connect with certain people. They have the same alignment with you, to communicate with other artists, to be a community, to be together and understand what that means. Understand that it's for the betterment of the other person. It's not a selfish gain type of thing. She doesn't have that in her spirit. Her spirit is about sharing, and I'm the same way. And it's interesting. I think we've been doing like cities pretty much because I've been more of the Inland Empire, building and doing a lot of things. But now that I've been venturing more to LA, she and I cross paths, and I'm on that side doing things. So it is amazing how God connects people. And that's why I say the artist family that I've gained over the years, and now it's amazing. So that's a huge blessing that I'm thankful for. I thank God for that every day. And I pray for my friends every day for that matter. So absolutely. And meeting St. Ice on Andrea's show, when we met in person at her book signing, was like, it was so exciting. One all your life, but you got that connection just like that. So yeah. And just being with you on both shows, that was awesome, Q. I mean, it was just that warm feeling. We all have that warm reception towards each other. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I agree with Andrea on the fact that we have the power to control our anger and control how we take things and how we receive things in our space. But also, that comes with practice, that comes with wisdom and experience of learning to control that. And it's unfortunate not everybody learns that ability to control that. But it's beautiful what she said, because it is important for you to be in control of your emotions so that you don't let people come in your space and raise you up and, drive you nuts, because it's not worth it.
Yeah. Well, you guys, this has been a great conversation. I'm speechless. I have no more words to express, you guys. I think in going forward, definitely during this time of the year, I think I'm gonna challenge myself to just be more reflective and really staying in the moment and understanding what the next person may or may not be going through, and understanding though it may not be me, it's still a lesson in there to learn and to grow from someone else's experience. So that's
Right.
what I'm going to do going forward. Any final thoughts, anyone?
I I'd say really quick. I just say um, gratitude. Focusing on that word during this month, like make it a practice. I mean, we don't have to celebrate Thanksgiving for gratitude. That's just something that helps you stay uplifted. When we focus on all the things that we have to be thankful for every single day, it's a mood uplifter. So, I mean, this is a tough month for a lot of people. I agree. And December is a tough month. And you get all these commercials and you get all these things that are coming at you. And, they paint these pictures for you, but it's your own life experience of what holidays are if you celebrate them. It's your own life
Hmm.
experience, how you live your life and enjoy it. So, focus on gratitude in the next few days and just weeks. And I think that'll uplift your spirit. And I wish everybody a blessed, November.
Thank you.
Great.
I'm gonna chime in. This is so funny. This happened to me. I used to work at what was it? I think it was called Office Max out here in LA. Well, sort of LA, street called Pacific Coast Highway. Really nice area. And I was working in the copy department. I think I was transitioning from graphics to sales. We had this guy who would come in, and he had his little boy with him, and he was like, "I'm thankful and grateful every time you see them. I'm thankful and grateful," to the point where he was so positive he'd get on your nerves. You know that kind of person. "Ooh, dude, turn the light down, right? I'm thankful and grateful." One day he came in and he had shorts on and he had prosthetic legs, and you would never know this. And
Mm.
so, looking at his prosthetic legs and hearing him say, "I'm thankful and grateful," there was more volume or more weight to what he was saying. And it was an immediate check. It's like, oh, okay, I didn't, because we never know what folks are going through. We don't, like you were saying, Q, everyone has their own experience, their own life story. This dude ain't got no legs, and he's the happiest man in the building, the most thankful man in the building. So it was a humbling encounter on that day. So, and I've always tried to carry that with me, dude. Shut up, stop crying, stop murmuring, and find those nuggets. I mean, because even in a pile of rocks, we still got some diamonds hidden up in there. Might have to polish them, might have to take that coal to task, but at the end of the day, it's going to be shining and blinging. So sometimes we got to take that thing and understand there's beauty in this. And not saying easy. Easy is not the vocabulary, but that thankful, grateful, that gratitude, it's everything to carry us, at a particular way. So Clint's 3 cents. Yeah.
So with that, you guys, we're gonna close out. Appreciate everybody in the chat for joining us and those that may see the rebroadcast. Appreciate you guys. Mary, it's been a pleasure. Dre, has been a pleasure. Clint, has been a pleasure. um,
Thank you so much.
just be thankful and stay in the moment, you guys. Not you guys, but everybody in general. And it's been a great conversation. And we need to always have these topic conversations because they can be beneficial to someone. With that, everybody have a great night. Take care.
Thank
All
you.
right, Q.